Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has been showing me so much love and support in subscribing to my channel, sharing my videos, or just commenting, or even just coming to watch. I really do appreciate all of you guys. Seriously, you guys are the bomb. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so on to today's topic. Today we're going to be talking about my body and me. And yes, to the grammar police, I know it's supposed to be like my body and I or whatever, but I like my body and me, so I'm just going to put my body and me. It's more so supposed to be a topic or a conversation, I guess, about self-love in a way. For the longest time, for as long as I can remember, the relationship I've had with my body has been very hate. Like, it's never really been a love-hate relationship. Like, it's always been just a hate relationship. Growing up, I was always referred to as like the chubby one, the chubby friend, the chubby sister. It was just a thing that kind of stuck with me, and it was a title that stuck with me. I knew I was the fat one. I knew I was the chubby one. And it just increasingly, kind of hearing it and the way it was said always just made me feel like I had a reason to be disgusted with myself, and so I hated myself. I hated who I was. I didn't like my body at all. I didn't do mirrors. I still kind of don't do mirrors nowadays either. I'm working on that, but I didn't like myself. I didn't like myself at all. I couldn't stand it. I felt my arms, I felt my stomach, and I just felt my thighs, and I just felt like nothing feels the way it's supposed to be. I'm not supposed to look this way. As I said, growing up, I was always referred to as the chubby sister. I heard it so much and so often from so many people. I'm Nigerian. My background is Nigerian. So if you're watching this and you're Nigerian, you know already how Nigerians are, and they're very blunt in terms of how they speak, and they tend to speak their mind. So if they see someone who they think is fat, to them saying, "Oh, hey, what's up, fatty bum bum?" Like, it's not a rude thing for them. For them, it's like, I'm just stating fact. So I heard it quite a lot. Like, I heard people refer to my weight quite a lot, and I remember, like, every time someone would say something, in my head I would literally just cringe. I would die a little inside, because I was like, oh, okay, I'm fat, I'm big, I get it. Can we just not talk about it? Can it not be a topic? But it always seemed to be a topic. It always seemed to be a topic. Like, they would introduce us, like, me and my siblings, and they would be like, oh, the skinny one, or like the slim one. They never said skinny, they always said slim. The slim one is like her sister, or the chubby one, yeah, that's Rio. And it was always like, thanks. Like, it became part of my identity, and I just hated it. I hated it. Like, I just wanted to be like me. I just wanted to be me, and it was annoying. It was very annoying to hear people refer to my weight so much. I hated it. Another thing with me was that I was an emotional eater. So every time someone said something about my weight or commented on the fact that I was a fat kid, it made me eat even more. It literally, like, I was like, okay, I'm sad, I need to do something, I should eat. I should put together a meal. And I would just do that. I just kept eating, because eating kept my hands busy, eating kept my mouth busy, eating made me feel good. Having all those flavors and different tastes and stuff, like, just made me feel great. So I just was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep eating. It's whatever. There were so many things that I loved doing as a kid. So many things that I loved doing as a kid that I just kind of cancelled myself from doing, because I just, in my head, had told myself, well, you're fat, so you can't do this. You can't do this stuff. You can't. It's not a thing for you anymore. I loved dance. I absolutely loved dancing. I loved street dance. It was something I wanted to, like, just do. I just love dancing. I love letting loose and being free to music. But I started to notice that, like, a lot of the girls who came in the class, their body type wasn't like my body type. So I dropped out, because I was like, well, I'm too fat, and I can't be the only fat one on stage. Well, what if the costumes don't fit me when we all get costumes? Like, this is just not, I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to just drop out. So I did. I stopped going to dance. I loved swimming. I loved the water. I loved the ocean. I love everything about swimming. There's a freedom you feel when you're in the water and swimming, and I loved it. I wanted to be a mermaid when I was a kid. Like, I remember watching Splash with my mom and just being like, oh my god, how cool would it be if every time I touched water my, like, legs turned into a tail and I could just swim anywhere. But then I gave that up, because I remember I was on my school swim team, and we had a meet. We went to the meet. and we basically won the relay. And as we were getting out of the water, we were walking past one of the rival school squads or teams, whatever, and I heard one of the students say, well, of course they would win because they have a whale on their team. And I looked at all my other teammates, and they were like slim, and they had like swimmer bodies, in my opinion. And so for me, it was like I knew they were talking about me, and just hearing them refer to me as a whale just set me back so much. And I was just like, well, I can't swim anymore, I can't do it, I can't get into the water, don't put bathing suits on, I don't do it anymore. Nothing that showed my skin, I covered it all up. I started wearing super baggy clothes. I hated wearing anything that was form-fitting at all. Like, I just hated it. If it clung to my arms, like a dress like what I'm wearing right now, you couldn't pay me to wear a dress like this back in the day, because I hated it. I just didn't like it. I would say like a couple of years back, I went back to London to visit my mom, and I remember I was going through some old pictures of myself, and I was looking at these pictures, and I had to take a seat, because looking at these pictures, it hit me really hard that in these pictures I wasn't as big as I thought I had been back then. And I remember looking at these pictures and being like, what was going through your head? I felt so mad at myself, because I felt like if I had just taken the second to look in the mirror, I would have realized, like, yeah, people keep calling me fat or chubby or whatever, but I'm not as chubby. And like, that time, if I had just continued dancing or continued swimming, I probably would have like toned up what I had. But I quit it because I just assumed I was bigger than what I was, to the point that I heard people say I was big. I wasn't actually big, so I ate and ate and ate until I became as big as I thought I was in my head. And it hit me hard. It hit me so hard. Like, I don't think I've ever been more angry at myself, but I was mad at myself. And so what did I do? I went ahead and I ate some more and just kept going and just kept going. When I lived in LA, I ate a lot. We lived above a pizza shop, and I ate a lot. And the pizzas weren't small slices, they were massive slices. I remember we had a cupcake store that opened across the road. For everyone who knows me knows I don't like cupcakes, but they opened. It was Crumbs Cupcakes, and they opened and they were giving away cupcakes free for the day, no limit. And I ran over and got myself cupcakes. I don't even like cupcakes, but I got myself cupcakes. I just kept going. I think when I was in LA, I was probably at my heaviest, and that's not even me just assuming that. Looking back on pictures of myself, I remember like we had a Madame Tussauds across the road, whichever way you pronounce it. We had a Madame Tussauds across the road, and they did these gigantic gummy bears, like, and I love gummy bears, and they were massive. And I remember going across the road every once in a while and buying myself one, and just sitting down and working my way through it in a day, and like all of that sugar just compacted in one. And like, I would see families who would get them, and they would like eat some and save the rest, and I literally would work my way through one, and probably like an hour or so I would just like sit there just chomping away. I wasn't the healthiest eater. My eating habits progressed into like from worse to worse to worse to worse. It just kept getting bad, because I just in my head had told myself, well, you're big, you're fat, there's no hope for you, like that's just what it is. You're just gonna be this big fat chick. Let's just embrace your fatness, like, and not embrace it and like yourself, just embrace it. Like, yeah, live with your hatred for your body, just that's who you are. I tried different diets, I tried different eating styles, I tried starvation. I went through a phase of bulimia, which I don't even know if my family knew about it, but I went through a phase of bulimia where I would literally monitor how I ate and how the food went in, because I wanted to know when it would come out. So I would like eat certain things in, and I would eat like a colored like something like an M&M that had color to it, and so that way I knew when to stop vomiting. I would make sure I ate like the colored foods last, so when I knew if I see orange, stop eating or whatever, like just as an example. But like I went through that, then I had to stop myself. We watched a movie with my mom about this girl who suffered from bulimia, because she saw her friend doing it and kind of joined in. She saw her friend doing it and joined in, and then her friend that she had ended up copying ended up dying, and that jettisoned a change for her. I watched it and was like, well, I don't want to die from this, and so I went back to eating again, and then the bullying and everything kind of picked up, and I started to hate myself even more. So then I went to starvation, and I kind of made this little sign for myself that said, eat no eat no food, feel no pain. And I kept that with me, and I kind of like put it up so I could see it. And I would wake up in the morning and I would forego breakfast, I would forego lunch, and like it worked for like about a week. And then I realized, no, I really like food and I miss eating. And then I went back, and because I hadn't eaten for so long, I was even more hungry, so I just ended up stuffing my face to make up for lost time. And it was just always such a bad thing for me. Diets never work, because I always feel like when I get to the end of the diet, I always feel like I have to make up for lost times, which doesn't really help if you're dieting, because then all the weight you've lost, you kind of basically throw it back on again. As I said before, it wasn't until August 2018, so August last year, that I kind of really decided, more so for myself, that I wanted to change who I was. Like, not change who I was, but my body. I wanted to learn to at least like myself. So even if I didn't love my body, I wanted to learn to at least like my body. And so I started working on it. I had the opportunity to go to a gym and actually like work out on equipment and stuff like that, and actually speak to a personal trainer, Dixie Bell. She's super cool, super awesome. If you're ever looking for a personal trainer, Dixie Bell is the way to go. She's such an amazing person. She helped me realize things about myself and my distaste for my body that I hadn't even thought to, like, it never crossed my mind. I just knew that, like, I just didn't like my body, but she helped me kind of break it down. And then I kind of like was like, okay, well, now that we've crossed that bridge, like, what diet are you going to put me on? And she doesn't do diets. She told me, like, she doesn't want to put me on a diet, because she knew that with me, I had explained it to her already, that once the diet's over, I'm just going to make up for lost times. And so instead of doing a diet plan, what she did with me was she gave me a list of foods I could eat, and like foods that were good for me, foods that could benefit me in terms of health wise, not just weight loss wise, but in terms of health and healthy eating and healthy living. She gave me a list of foods that would totally build into that, and then kind of helped me realize how to eat them and when to eat them, because sometimes it's not about just what you're putting into your body, it's about when you're putting it into your body at the same time as well. So she really kind of gave me the structure to go by, and that's the structure I've been living by up till now. I'm currently living that structure right now. I've added a lot more exercise into my day. For people who know me, know that I don't actually like exercise. I don't even run for buses. Well, I do now every once in a while, but like back in the day, like I wasn't a person who would run for a bus. If I saw my bus and I was late, I would let that bus go. But like she really did change things around for me, and she kind of set me on the path that I'm on right now. I will say that there is so much more to this journey between me and my body and where I'm headed, but that I would say is a video for another day, because if I'm going to do that and like fully go into like the journey that I'm going through right now with my body, I want to kind of give you guys the full backstory in terms of where I was at weight wise in August 2018 and where I'm at when I do the video. So what I'm going to do is, this will be just the first part, but in the future there will be a video once I hit my goal weight. Once I hit my goal weight, I'm going to do a video that basically discusses my entire journey and like how I got there, where I'm at right now mentally as well, because Dixie told me as well, she said to me when we sat down for our conversation, that it's all fine and dandy to try and fix myself on the outside and like to start eating healthy and all of that, but wherever my head is going to affect all of that, because what good will it do me if I lose all of this weight, but in my head I still think I'm just as fat? Because remember, I became this big because in my head I already thought I was that big. So she kind of had to get me to a point where I had to first of all admit to myself that mentally I do think I'm pretty big and I need to get over that. And so it was more, I need to learn to love myself, and I know that. Prior to like August, prior to meeting Dixie, it was straight up like, I just hate my body. Don't look in mirrors. Don't like people buying me clothes. I don't like wearing clothes that fit me too tight. Like I didn't like any of that stuff. And I had to get myself to a point where I liked myself. I had to get myself to a point where I could at least say that, no, I kind of like my body. Like, and it started off small. It started off with finding little features of myself that I liked, finding things that I liked about myself, that I could kind of say to myself. So it started off with, I love my lips. I love my lips. I really do love my lips. I love my lips and I love my smile. So you may not see it very often, but I do love my lips and I love my smile. And I remind myself that every morning, and every day I kind of try and find something new I like about myself. And it may sound like silly and mundane, but it works for me. And I'm slowly getting to a point where I do actually like myself, and I'm learning to like myself. And eventually that like is going to turn into love. And it just, for me, is such an amazing journey to see myself taking, because it's not a journey I ever thought I would actually take, but here we are. I'm taking it. I'm doing it. So I guess the conversation for today is, how do you feel about your body? And if you think you're big, do you think you're big because people have told it to you and mentally you do believe you are that big? Or have you actually taken the time to look at yourself, weigh yourself, and actually ask yourself, are you that big? And do you like yourself? Do you like yourself or even love yourself? So that's my conversation with you guys today. What do you guys think? Do you like yourself? Or do you think it's hard to like yourself? Thanks guys for tuning into the video. Thank you. I really do appreciate you guys jumping in to the conversation and like watching these videos and sharing them. I really do appreciate it. I have seen all of your requests and everything. I've gotten a few requests for Q&As. So what I'm going to do is, if you guys have any questions you would like me to do in a Q&A session, feel free to send them in to me. As I said, we will be talking about bodies later on as well. So if you have any questions about bodies as well that you want to send to me, send those guys in as well. Maybe I will answer them in a Q&A video, or maybe I will talk about them in the next body video that I do. But I'm looking forward to it. Send in your questions. My social media handles will all be down in the description box below. I have changed my Instagram name, so it's no longer at Rio Sovi. It is now at Rio Conversations. But again, everything's going to be down below, so it shouldn't be hard to find. Thank you once again for tuning in, and don't forget to have a Rio great day. Bye guys.